Hello, my name is Sarah. I am 28 years old, and I live in a small town called Riverdale. I work as a librarian at the Riverdale Public Library, and I love reading mystery books and going for long walks in the park. Today, I want to tell you about something strange that happened to me last month that changed my quiet life in unexpected ways. It all started on a Monday morning when I arrived at the library. The weather was cold and rainy, and not many people visited the library that day. I was organizing books on the shelves when I noticed a small white envelope on my desk. It had no name, no address, and no stamp. I looked around, but there was nobody near my desk. Who had left this mysterious envelope? I was curious and a little worried. I picked up the envelope carefully and opened it. Inside was a handwritten letter. The handwriting was neat but unfamiliar. The letter said, "Dear librarian, I need your help. Look for the book with the blue bookmark on the third floor. It contains important information. Please keep this secret. Someone is watching the library." I read the letter twice, my heart beating faster. Was this a joke? Or was someone really in trouble? I decided to investigate. The third floor of the library was quiet and dimly lit. It contained old books, historical documents, and rarely used reference materials. Not many people came up here. I walked between the tall bookshelves, looking carefully at each book. After 20 minutes of searching, I spotted a thick book with a dark blue bookmark sticking out. The book was called The History of Riverdale. I pulled it out and opened it to the marked page. There was nothing unusual about the page itself, but between the pages was another small note. This one said, "Thank you for coming. The old mansion on Hill Street holds the answer. Go there tomorrow at 5 p.m. Now I was really intrigued. Should I go to the mansion? Was it dangerous? I decided to tell my friend Tom about the letter. Tom works as a police officer in our town, and I trust him completely. During my lunch break, I called him and explained everything. "Sarah, this sounds suspicious," Tom said. "You shouldn't go to that mansion alone. I'll come with you." I felt relieved. The next day, I was nervous all day at work. I couldn't focus on my tasks, and I kept thinking about the mysterious letter and the mansion. At 4:30 p.m., I met Tom outside the library, and we walked together to Hill Street. The old mansion was at the end of the street. It was a large, Victorian-style house that had been empty for years. People in town said it was haunted, but I never believed those stories. As we approached the mansion, I noticed that the front door was slightly open. "Stay behind me," Tom whispered, looking concerned. Slowly, we entered the dark hallway. The house was dusty and full of old furniture covered with white sheets. Suddenly, we heard footsteps upstairs. My heart jumped. Tom signaled for me to stay quiet as we moved toward the staircase. The wooden steps creaked under our feet as we climbed up. The upstairs hallway had several doors. One of them was open, and light was coming from inside. Cautiously, we walked toward it. Inside the room was an elderly man sitting at a desk, writing something. He looked up when he heard us and smiled. "Ah, the librarian. I've been expecting you," he said in a calm voice. "My name is Edward Collins. I used to be the owner of this house." I was confused. "You sent me those mysterious letters? Why didn't you just come to the library and talk to me?" Edward sighed and pointed to his legs. I noticed for the first time that he was in a wheelchair. "I can't move around easily anymore," he explained. "And what I need to tell you is complicated and private." He gestured for us to sit down. 50 years ago, I hid something valuable in the library building. It was before the renovation, when the library was much smaller. I hid a small box containing my family's historical documents and a valuable locket that belonged to my grandmother. I worked at the library back then, and I was afraid someone might steal these items from my home. I intended to retrieve them later, but I had an accident soon after and had to move away for treatment. By the time I returned, the library had been renovated, and I couldn't remember exactly where I had hidden the box. I listened with fascination. Edward continued. Last month, I discovered an old diary where I had written down clues about the hiding place. But I'm too old and weak to search myself. I need someone who knows the library well. Tom looked skeptical. Why all the secrecy? Why not just ask directly for help? Edward's face became serious. Because my nephew is in town. He knows about the locket and has been pressuring me to find it and sell it. But it's a family heirloom. I don't want to sell it. I want to donate it to the town museum along with the historical documents. My nephew has been watching me and the library. I couldn't risk him overhearing my request. The story sounded incredible, but sincere. Do you have the clues from your diary? I asked. Edward handed me a piece of paper. The box is hidden behind a place where knowledge of the stars is kept, near where the old reference desk used to be. That evening, Tom and I returned to the library after closing time. We went to the astronomy section, which was close to where the old reference desk had been before the renovation. After searching for about an hour, I noticed that one of the wall panels looked different from the others. When I pressed it, it moved slightly. Tom helped me push harder, and the panel slid open, revealing a small hidden compartment. Inside was a dusty wooden box. We carefully took it out and opened it. Inside were yellowed documents, old letters, maps of the town from the 1800s, and photographs. At the bottom of the box was a beautiful gold locket with an intricate design. The next day, we brought the box to Edward. His eyes filled with tears when he saw the locket. My grandmother wore this on her wedding day, he said softly. Thank you for finding it. As promised, Edward donated the historical documents and the locket to the Riverdale Museum. They created a special exhibition about the town's history featuring these items. Edward's nephew was upset at first, but when he saw how important the exhibition was to the town and to his uncle, he eventually understood. As for me, the mystery of the anonymous letter led me to develop a friendship with Edward. He had amazing stories about old Riverdale, and I started visiting him regularly. We even began working on a book together about the town's history. Sometimes, unexpected adventures begin with something as simple as an anonymous letter. The mystery brought excitement to my quiet life and connected me with the past of our town in a way I never expected. My name is Sarah, and that was my story about how an anonymous letter led me to discover a hidden treasure and make a new friend. What would you do if you found a mysterious letter on your desk? Thank you for listening to my story. The experience taught me that sometimes taking a small risk can lead to wonderful discoveries and new friendships. I still work at the library, but now every time I shelve books or help visitors, I wonder what other secrets might be hiding within the old building's walls. Edward and I meet twice a week now. He tells me stories about Riverdale from decades ago, and I record them for our book. Tom often joins us, bringing coffee and pastries from the cafe across the street. The three of us have become good friends, all because of that anonymous letter. I've learned that history isn't just in books. It's in the memories of people around us and sometimes hidden in unexpected places. The museum exhibition has become very popular in our town. People come from neighboring towns to see Edward's family documents and the beautiful locket. There's a photograph of Edward's grandmother wearing the locket on her wedding day, and it's become the centerpiece of the exhibition. The mayor even organized a special ceremony to thank Edward for his generous donation. During the ceremony, Edward held my hand and whispered, "None of this would have happened without your help." His words made me feel proud and happy. I realized that my job as a librarian isn't just about organizing books. It's about connecting people with knowledge and stories, whether they're printed in books or hidden behind walls. After the excitement of finding the hidden box, my daily life at the library changed. I became more observant, paying attention to details I had previously ignored. I started a special program at the library called Riverdale's Hidden Stories, where local residents could come and share their memories and family histories. Every Tuesday evening, the community room fills with people eager to listen and share. Edward is our special guest speaker once a month. Despite his age and difficulty moving around, he never misses a session. His stories captivate everyone, from children to elderly residents. His experiences during the Great Flood of 1965, when the river overflowed and nearly destroyed half the town, are particularly popular. The mysterious adventure also changed my relationship with Tom. Before the incident, we were casual friends who occasionally met for coffee. Now, we spend more time together. Last weekend, we went hiking in the mountains near our town. Tom showed me a hidden waterfall that few people know about. As we sat by the waterfall, enjoying the peaceful sound of water, Tom confessed that he had always wanted to ask me out, but never found the courage. "Finding that hidden box with you made me realize life is too short to wait," he said. I smiled and admitted that I had feelings for him too. Sometimes life surprises you in the most unexpected ways. A simple anonymous letter led to discovering a hidden treasure, making a new friend, starting a community program, and even finding love. I often think about what would have happened if I had ignored that letter or thrown it away. All these wonderful changes might never have occurred. Last week, Edward gave me another gift, his grandmother's diary. "You appreciated my family's history more than anyone else," he said. "I want you to have this." The diary contains stories of Riverdale from the early 1900s, written in beautiful handwriting with small sketches in the margins. I'm carefully reading it page by page, discovering what life was like in our town over 100 years ago. I've started sharing some of the stories during our Tuesday evening sessions at the library. People are fascinated by the details of everyday life from that era. How women washed clothes in the river. How children played games with simple toys made of wood and string. How the whole town came together to build the first school. The diary is like a window to the past, allowing us to connect with people who walk the same streets we walk today. The mayor was so impressed with our Riverdale's Hidden Stories program that he allocated funds to create a digital archive of all the stories and memories we collect. Now, I'm learning how to use recording equipment and digital preservation techniques. It's challenging but exciting to learn new skills. Tom teases me that I've become the town's official historian. Perhaps he's right. My love for books and stories has expanded beyond the library walls into the living history of our community. Edward's health has been declining recently. He gets tired more easily and sometimes forgets recent conversations. However, his long-term memory remains sharp, and he continues to share detailed stories from his youth. I visit him more often now, bringing him books from the library and updating him on our archive project. Despite his physical limitations, his eyes still light up when we talk about Riverdale's history. Last month, we had a special visitor at the library, a professor from the state university who specializes in local history. She had heard about our community archive project and wanted to include some of our materials in a book she's writing about small-town America. I showed her Edward's family documents and the entries from his grandmother's diary. She was impressed by the detailed accounts and the well-preserved materials. "This is a valuable contribution to understanding our state's history," she said. "You've done remarkable work preserving these stories." Her praise made all our efforts worthwhile. Sometimes I go back to the third floor of the library and look at the spot where I found that book with the blue bookmark. That small discovery changed the direction of my life in ways I never could have predicted. It reminds me that every book, every letter, every old document has the potential to transform someone's life, which is why I became a librarian in the first place. The story of the anonymous letter has become popular in our town. Parents tell their children about the mysterious message that led to discovering a family treasure. Some kids now leave mysterious notes for each other in library books, creating their own adventures. I pretend not to notice as they giggle between the bookshelves, whispering about secret missions and hidden treasures. It's wonderful to see them excited about coming to the library. Tom proposed to me last weekend. We were in the old mansion on Hill Street, which is now being renovated to become a community center. He got down on one knee in the same room where we had first met Edward. "This place brought us together," he said. "It seems right to start our future here." Of course, I said yes. Edward will be our guest of honor at the wedding, which we plan to hold in the library garden next spring. Life is full of unexpected twists and turns. Sometimes a simple anonymous letter can lead to solving a mystery, finding a treasure, making new friends, falling in love, and connecting an entire community with its past. I've learned to embrace the unexpected and to look for stories hiding in plain sight. My name is Sarah, and that was my story about how curiosity and courage can lead to wonderful discoveries. What mysterious letter would you follow, and where might it lead you? Thank you for joining me on this journey.